Everyone, welcome back to the Osteo and Physio YouTube channel. Today we're doing our 5-minute routine for ankle osteoarthritis, so typically over the ankle joint. So what we want to look at here first of all is just adding movement into the ankle. So when we get wear and tear, it's really common for it to feel stiff and quite restricted through the joints and generally quite achy and sore around the ankle. So we want to start off with flexion and extension. So these are the main movements into the ankle, so pointing down, so plantar flexion and dorsiflexion for 30 seconds, and then moving on to a lovely circumduction movement. So again, when we've got wear and tear, we're looking at regaining some kind of range of motion, or at least keeping the joint mobile, because even though initially it feels really good to just hold it and rest it, in reality it's better to get it moving, because long term you're less likely to build up that stiffness and tightness into the joint. So you want to do 30 seconds where you're alternating directions, so you're turning each way different directions, and then we want to start to soften down into the muscle. So first of all, we want to look at the Tibialis anterior muscle, which is over the front lateral part of the shin. And so what you can see here is I'm using a tennis ball to massage into that muscle, so breaking down any tightness. This attaches from just below the knee all the way down, blending towards the big toe. So really important joint, really important muscle, for attaching over the joint. So really important that we're relaxing through. We then want a trigger point release, so similar to what we've done before. Find a point of tenderness and then gently add the pressure to release through. So what you'll find here is there'll be little points that are just a tiny bit deeper in terms of tightness. And so what you want to do is you want to find that point of tenderness, and then you're going to add the pressure, so you're going to turn onto it. So this is releasing all around the front of the shin, so that will help with that stiffness that you're feeling lower, because if you can release that muscle tightness, that helps with quality of movement around the ankle. Because again, what we find over time is lots of different joints get lots of different muscles get really tight around the joint, just in terms of compensating. So same here, we want to relax through the Gastronemius muscle, so your calf muscle. So exactly the same, you're doing circular movement, you're massaging into the belly of that muscle, so we're massaging down through. Again, we've got a medial and a lateral head, so we want to relax around the side of the gastroc, so as we go to the outer part and the inner part, and then finding points of tenderness. So again, this is really key, because if you've got stiffness through the ankle joint, what happens is you'll activate and fire through certain muscle groups to help and compensate for that movement. So really important to have that ultimate softening around the whole of the muscles that attach and blend over the ankle. So what you're going to do is find a point of tenderness, add the pressure until you take it to around 8 out of 10, and then hold it still until it relaxes. So like we said, we've massaged and trigger pointed both the tibialis anterior and the gastrocnemius muscles. We then want to add a little bit of stretch. So add this in over time. You can either do this where you're lifting up through the foot and leaning into the stretch, so leaning the body forward as you're standing. I like this one because you can determine the range of stretch using the tea towel. So what you're doing is you're putting it over the foot and pulling it towards you. If you can reach down and grab the foot, that's another way of doing it. But most of the time, if people are struggling with that flexibility and stiffness, they'll probably struggle to reach down to the ankle. Once you've done that, we want to stretch the tibialis anterior. So what you want to do is you want to bend the foot down towards the floor, and then you want to turn it up towards you. So you need to add in plantar flexion inversion. So you're going to stretch across, so you need to drop it down towards the floor and then pull it up towards you. So you can see I'm holding around the foot, so you should feel it stretching around the front of the shin. So again, we want to hold this for 30 seconds. This is a really lovely stretch. So again, you're going to pull it down towards the floor, so as if you're pointing down and then pulling up towards you. Next, I wanted to show for 30 seconds an articulation that you can do yourself. So the top hand is fixing around the joint and the bottom hand is wiggling and moving the foot. So you've got one that's going to be fixing around the ankle, so grabbing hold of the top of the ankle, and then the other foot adding in a lovely circumduction movement. This is what we would want to achieve through treatment in clinic, so you can mirror this here where you're just moving through, and then for the final 30 seconds you want to regain balance. So only add this in at the end. So when you're doing everything else and that's nice and comfy and you can do them absolutely fine, you also want to add in a little bit of balance. You want to aim to stand on that ankle for 30 seconds. So you can build this up in blocks of 5 seconds, or build it up over time until you feel lovely and stable on standing for 30 seconds.